it's your girl, Mia J, back again. And I have my beautiful co-host with me,
Pamela Nicole. What's up? What's up?
And you are officially invited to another episode of Dynasty Queens. Today's episode of Dynasty Queens, you guys, was brought to us by our official sponsor, Fashion Nova. So I want all my lovely lovelies to go check out their fall collection. Tell them Mia J sent you, get your 40% off. Make sure you scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen. And we're going to do it like that. The fall collection, Fashion Nova. Yes. Okay, girl. So what's today's topic? What we getting into?
I really want to discuss, they just kind of clear the air with some certain things. Because as influencers, I think people just think that that's what we do. Like, as far as just like product reviews, like for me, for instance, with my part-time job, I have to always let people know, like, it's a part-time job. I do have other endeavors that I'm doing as well. I do product review. I do ads. I do, for different companies, this and that. Everybody seems to kind of think that just being an influencer, you're just rolling in the dough, like from the get, and that the work is easy and or influencers don't really work hard. And I think we should definitely clear the air on that, my dear. Because like I know, we put in a lot of work doing what we do.
Yes, we definitely do. For people that are looking to get into it, all of us, like myself included, I started off really green. My page started to take off like 2018, I'd say, or 2019. And when it took off, it went viral, and my page is organic as well. So it's like celebrities and stuff. I think I had a couple photos that went viral, whatever. So long story short, the offers and deals did start to come in. But at first, I was just accepting whatever and posting. I wasn't getting compensated.
Ooh.
There's so many ins and outs. And if you're looking to jump into becoming an influencer, you have to be well-rounded and know that it's not just about taking cute photos, or as today, it's not just about the reels, or the content is cool, but you have to be able to monetize off of that as well.
Amen.
So it's not just a walk in the park. There's a lot that goes into being an influencer. And I know you kind of have a similar story as well. So, and at the same time, you have to make sure that you constantly have like other avenues. You can't just like quit your 9 to 5 in the beginning. You can slowly transition, but that's not for everybody either, So there's just so much involved in being an influencer. What do you think are some negative things, are some of the cons of having a platform?
One of the negative things you're going to have, like we've talked about before, you're going to have people that have negative things to say about you, people that will try to emulate who you are, fake pages, do scams, do like porn sites, this, that, the third, with your face on it, and try to monetize off of you when it has nothing to do with you in the first place. It's crazy. Other businesses, they'll try to reel you in, promising money, and then nothing comes of it. So it's just scams after scams after scams. So you have to know the difference between like legitimate businesses and scams, I think, is the biggest thing. A lot of girls will ask me like, oh, well, Pam, would you mind looking over this email or look at this DM I'm about to send you? Such and such company, they're going to offer me free jewelry, free this. That's one of the biggest scams on Instagram, is these jewelry companies that are like, their products are like $400, $500. But if you're a brand ambassador for them, you don't pay anything, just handle their $25 shipping fee. That's where they get their money. This is cheap jewelry. It's not legitimate, and they're still making a profit off of you by you spending $25 for shipping and handling on, honestly, jewelry that's going to turn your neck and your fingers green. So that's definitely something that a lot of people in the beginning, you'll get a lot of those coming in, but it's just put that in the trash. Just trash, delete anything like that that's offering you any kind of like free anything, but you pay the shipping. What do you think, Nia? That would be like,
that's crazy. So you're pretty much saying like $3 cost and joy, but you're paying like 70% of the shipping.
Exactly.
That's insane. Actually, I have a story for the viewers. I don't even know if I told you this story. I can't recall, but it was about, I'd say it's been over 2 years now. It was like in 2021. Supposedly, I thought a really big brand reached out to me and wanted me to shoot for their fall collection for 2021. 2021, yeah. And they wanted me to do it. They were like, okay, we're going to come to you. We're going to come to the Atlanta area. We're going to shoot you at this famous train station, like the railway. They had it all lined up.
Right.
They had their rep reach out to me. I checked out their page. It's a very popular brand. I don't want to say the name of the brand just because this was a really big scam.
Right.
And I would hate to think that it was real representation of this company. So I don't know, but what it was, to sum it up, we were in correspondence for about a month and a half, follow-up emails, this and that. But I kind of noticed early on when I requested, because usually when I do big-time partnerships where I'm getting paid major money with brands, we do a Zoom call or we do some type of FaceTime conference call. I don't even just like to do phone calls.
Yeah.
When I've done the contracts or the big brand stuff, it may start with a phone call, but I got to do a FaceTime.
Yeah.
Usually. So I found it odd. Like every time I brought that up, she was kind of like, would kind of overstep that question. It's like, but everything else she was saying seemed so legit, especially since I'd already been in the game for a couple of years. I kind of know how things go. I was like, okay. But still in the back of my head, I was like, And just the amount of time and preparation that was put into it. At this point, we're like 2.5 months in. So we're preparing to, have me come meet the photographer and shoot. Yeah. So here's where it got weird. So the lady, the rep, we're corresponding through email, and then she texts me on my cell phone. Remember, we've never even had a conversation at this point. So I'm actually getting catfished by a company, right?
Oh, Lord.
So she texts me. She's like, hey, so here's what we're going to do. So this gig was supposed to pay me like $2,800, right? She was like, okay, so we're going to send you over the funds for you to pay for the location and for the photographer. So we're going to send you $7,000. Everybody's cut. And at first I was like, you know what? I don't want that responsibility.
Right.
Can you just please give me what I'm supposed to be compensated? And she was like, no, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. And then I was like, okay. So then she was like, maybe like a week passed and we're getting closer to the day to shoot. So she messages me and she's like, hey, we need to put a deposit down for the location. It's $150. She was like, would you mind, sending that over, the $150? And I was like, she was like, because, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. Here's the part I forgot to mention. They sent me a check.
Okay.
They sent me a check in the mail from the company, right? A $7,000 check. They sent me a check. It came FedEx and everything.
Okay.
So she was like, okay, go ahead and deposit the check into your bank. And then once you do, can you please cash out $150 to this Cash App? And the bank, when they got that check, they were looking at it. They went to the back. They were gone for like 30 minutes.
Oh,
and they were like, well, the standard protocol, if it's a check over, what is it, over 2,000 or whatever, it's on a hold.
Yeah.
Just to make sure it clears. Child, that thing did not clear. Had me depositing bounce checks, okay? I'm like, I don't want to be held liable or responsible for this nonsense. So they never even said nothing of it. The bank called me. They even mailed me a copy of it. And they said, hey, this will actually be endorsed. If you can prove it's valid, just bring it back and we'll deposit it. Even though they knew it was baloney, but they were still nice about it. And after I told that lady, I said, you know what? No, I'm going to wait. I'll send the 150 once the check clears. Never heard from them again. Never heard from them again. And it's a big time brand, right? Woo. You know, New York Fashion Week type of stuff, like an urban line. But the thing is, no matter how saturated you think you are in this industry, people will still try to throw you for a loop. We were in communication for about 3 months.
Wow.
You know, it all seemed legit. Everything they were talking about, you could reference it and look up the names and the companies and everything, but it was a scam.
That is awful, hun. Oh.
And I found the real representative of who was supposed to be reaching out to me. I found the real chick. I did my research. I found her Instagram and I sent her this long message, but never heard back. So I don't know if she was actually really part of it or not.
Oh no, I hope not. I mean,
right. But the name on the FedEx packaging,
yeah.
I think I looked at that person, it's like some lady in some part of, I don't know, it was just a lot. In some part of Texas, it wasn't even coming from where it was supposed to come from. So it was just so many red flags towards the end of it where even if it seems too good to be true, like no correspondence besides emails, please y'all don't jump on it.
Don't do it. Do not.
So that was my brand ambassador catfish moment. And I really wanted to share that with y'all because I need y'all to steer clear of the scammers because they do exist. But there are some really, really dope and cool opportunities and money to be made out here in these streets with these brands.
Indeed.
You know? Do you have any brand ambassador horror stories, Pamela?
Yes, I do. I actually, since I'm speaking about the jewelry brands, I was a victim of the brand ambassador jewelry scam. So this company reached out to me. They helped me make my discount code. They helped me, you know, get my picture on their website as one of their models. Like, oh yeah, and if you want to put a little quote on how much you love the jewelry, before we send you the jewelry, we would love that. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to do a product review on something that I don't have? Whatever. So I did it, whatever. I paid my little $27.95 for shipping and handling for my free jewelry. And it came about a month later. So this was not a quick process. It took a whole entire month for them to send me some jewelry to turn my neck green. I did my little photos and stuff for it. And they're like, well, you can, we're going to give you 25% of everybody that buys jewelry from us. Never saw a dime of that money. I had about 9 people buy from me and I feel so bad. And I did have to go back and apologize. Say, I'm so sorry. I had no idea this was an entire scam. Like I had no idea. But they love their little fake jewelry. So I mean, more power to them. But it was a learning lesson. It's like you see that email and it's like you get so excited. It's like, oh, someone notices me. Someone sees that, you know, I want to do this. And then once you go through it and you see that it's a bunch of baloney, then you see all the rest of them just trickling in. Like, oh, then you'll get like 5, 6, 7 more different brands with the same agenda. So lost out on almost $30 and other people's money, but learned my lesson.
So you were pretty much involved in a pyramid scheme and didn't even realize it.
Pretty much, girl.
Caught up in it. You know, the funny thing is I would see those pages, they would reach out to me, but I could kind of tell they were bots before bots were a thing.
Yeah.
Because it was always the same. Now, the fact that they actually provide merchandise, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at least that. But the part about them, you know, paying you 25% whatever.
Right.
Was there like a contract that you signed or anything, or was it just word of mouth?
It was word of mouth, and that was before I knew anything about contracts and signing things. It's just have that legality within you and the other individual. So I was just like, okay, cool. Like, and they'd be like, well, whenever it was, and this is what I should have known. They were like, whenever you're ready, whenever we're ready, we'll ask for your Cash App and then we'll deposit the money. They never asked for a Cash App. They never asked for a PayPal. They never asked for a Venmo. They didn't ask for any kind of information for me to receive payment.
So they're just strictly making money off of the shipping fees, like 20-something bucks here and there from all these people around the country. That's a cool little come up. You know? And then in return, they're giving like dirt cheap jewelry.
Girl, they're going on Alibaba buying wholesale and then
Girl, that is crazy. Yeah, I just want to make sure that y'all understand what we're saying. So these folks with me, because they were asking for my, not account information, but the way they did it, they sent me something. They sent me a check to further validate that, hey, we are legit, but y'all were going to give me for $150 or however much, because they probably, if I would have said, okay, let me send the $150, I deposited the check. If I was, deemed that, then I would have gone for it. And they probably would have said, oh, hey, there's another, can you send, they probably would have been like, can you send the photographer half of his cut now? Like they probably would have, and I'm sure it's working on somebody, because this is a thing that's going, right?
Yeah.
Somebody is foolish enough to be like, okay.
And do it. But you know what? Thank goodness for these banks. They know the difference. They'll stop it right then and there. But like you're saying, some of these people just take my money. It's fine. It'll go through. And then, no.
Girl, and it's funny because it's funny to say before I transitioned to being an influencer and stuff, I was working in insurance and financial services. And a lot of the transactions I would do would be over the phone. So you have to be able to have people trust you.
Right.
So.
Jeez.
A lot of people be like, I'm sorry, but no offense, I'm not going to buy insurance over the phone. But a lot of people, they would.
Mm-hmm.
But these people, I had never had a chance to speak with them. Nothing like that. So it was just a lot of red flags. Like I said, if it seems too good to be true.
It usually is.
It absolutely is. Right.
Now, on the flip side, you do have other great brands. Like, I know you've had some fantastic brands that you've represented. Same on my end. Like, I have a couple eyeglass companies. If you watched our previous season, you've seen my cute little glasses and everything that I do have. Those companies actually do send over product for me. I get to do reels and try-ons and pictures and stuff with it, just tag them in it. And some of them are just really dope like that. Here's your discount code and here's your product. So it's an even trade, and people actually see the hard work you put in and are willing to just do that trade for trade and do it that way, which I'm totally cool with,
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing, a little tip that I want to advise people is as you progress and as you gain, exposure and more of a following, you can up your rates.
Mm-hmm.
You can pretty much tell people what you feel you deserve.
Indeed.
And there's going to have to be a point in time where you're going to have to start turning people down. So like, well, so-and-so did it for, okay, that's them. That's not me. Here's my rate.
Know your worth.
Yeah, know your worth. It's either this or it's not even me. Because at that point, it's like, oh, okay, she's willing to do whatever for a buck. And me, I know my worth when it comes to my brand. So I like to, be compensated a certain way accordingly. And I've really made a lot of negotiations, over the years to make sure that I'm getting what I feel I deserve. So that's something I want to share with all the viewers, just make sure that you get what you deserve. I feel like a lot of the scamming type of brands will kind of cater to people that have, I'd say, less than 70,000, less than 50,000, because they know these people are still kind of like green to it. So they feel like a lot of them will just jump like, oh my God, like you said, when you were new to it, like, oh my God, there's a brand that notices me.
For sure.
And so I think we've all gone through that phase.
For sure. And I got to a point too, Nia, where I would get like you always taught me, this is Nia-isms, as she always taught me to just check the other folder on Instagram. That's what I call the other folder with all the spam and the crap.
Yes.
Because sometimes you'll get some really great, people that just can't reach you the way that everyone else can reach you in your general and primary folders. So there have been things in there that I have had to recover and be like, oh, shoot, is it still too late? Can I still participate in this? Stuff like that. So you always have to just double check. And you'll have some creepy stuff in there too, but what we want is the stuff that's going to make you the green.
Exactly. Yeah, I think there was every couple of months, I just go through it and either purge or just look at what's missing. I think about 2 months ago, I went through all these different spam DMs.
Uh-huh.
Of course, I check because I get stuff emailed too. I get stuff emails and I also get the DMs. But yep, I found some stuff from months ago or maybe last year. Now doing business with people that I overlooked on accident before. beauty brands that send me like hair and lashes and bonnets, to health products, to all kind of supplements, to clothing, all kind of stuff that I've done over the years. It's been a lot.
Man.
I shout people's businesses out, artists, all kind of stuff like that. So just know about what works for your brand, your imaging when it comes to who you're going to promote on your page. I'm not going to promote every brand that reaches out because it's not in tune with my brand.
Yes.
If a rock band is going to hit me like, hey, can you post this on your story? My followers know I don't listen to rock music. So no, I don't have, it's like, it has to fit.
Exactly.
Beauty, fitness, those are usually the ones that I've been partnering with are apparel,
Yes.
It's the fashion and fitness meets femininity. It's like the niche. But thank you for letting them know, because that's very important. You have to make sure you check that spam, check those DMs that you may miss, because it could be
money. Another good little tip, if you're a model out there and you're really trying to just promote yourself and know your worth, like Nia said, and you really want to just branch out, it is so imperative that you make a media kit. I personally have a media kit, and that's going to give your rates, how much you charge per hour for whatever services. You just have a list of everything, almost like when you go to a spa and it has the list of services and the pricing, but it's your media kit. And that's going to be like everything that you have. You have your headshots, you have your full body shots. You have to show your amount of followers, your percentages, men to women, all kinds of stuff. It has a lot of different ratios on there that help brands determine whether or not, you're a good fit for them or for photographers. So they'll know exactly what your rates are versus you just saying, oh, I charge $400 an hour. No, you have it legit in writing, and you have it in a nice, pretty little media kit for everybody to see. It just looks really nice, clean, and crisp. And it just shows how professional you are as an individual.
I like that. And that way everybody's getting the same information. So it's not one person. They can't say anything because this is like you said, it's in writing. Like, these are my rates. Either let's talk business or let's not talk at all.
Period.
That's really cool. What else do you think are some things that our viewers need to know, either be leery of or actually just know before diving in?
Yeah. Another good thing, if y'all follow me on Instagram, what I like to do, I like everybody to make money. So I do my little investigative ways of making money just to see how it works out and pans out. So if I find something that works out, and it works out for anybody, like age 13 to 95, whatever. If I find a good app, I'm going to put it out there, be like, hey, let me not gatekeep this. I made this much on this. You can too. So I think that a lot of influencers, I'm not going to mention any names, but I think that sometimes some influencers will endorse a brand and it's just a shit product. You know what I'm saying? And just to get the money, just to get the views, to monetize, I'm all about authenticity. I'm all about, real results and, just keeping it real with people. I don't like leading people on this thing, because then you have all these other negative comebacks. You see the YouTube videos where it's like, oh, such and such said this about this product and my whole face broke out, or I went in the hospital because I had an allergy to something and it was supposed to be all 100% natural and there's chemicals in here that I'm allergic to. Just stuff like that. I really think that you should do your own research on products. If you feel a little iffy about it, don't just fully go on what an influencer tells you. No matter how many views, how many likes they have, you got to do your own due diligence and look at stuff for yourself.
I must say, keeping it 100% transparent, you are absolutely right. There's actually a partnership that I did towards the end of 2020. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say the brand's name or anything like that, or even if I can recall. There was a small Black-owned business. Actually, it was a Black guy and then a South Asian man together. They partnered together. And it was supposed to be holistic, the almost like Dr. Sebi-ish route kind of stuff. They were paying me very well weekly. Okay.
Wow.
Very well to promote this. And I promoted it up until When I did a photo shoot with Dynasty, up until then, so about 5 months or so, I was making very good money. But I'm someone who's true to who I am through and through. So I started to take the product.
Yeah.
I started to get like puffiness and swelling under one of these eyes. It was one eye, and it started to swell. So I told the guy, I was like, look, mind you, he was paying me to go live, endorse the product. Right. All this, like the infomercial, I was going hard like one of the ladies on the infomercials,
Wow.
like with the promoting this stuff. So I was like, let me go ahead and take it. And I had some swelling, and he was like, oh, that's just the impurities. He's like, matter of fact, we'll go live and discuss your swelling eye. He's like, that's just the impurities. You see, the toxins are lifting under your skin. And I was like, sir, I'm not going to take this anymore. Matter of fact, no. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't feel comfortable promoting this anymore because it's not impacting me, right? So I was like, it's about cool. We can part ways. I already made good money from it. After I started to have negative side effects, I was like, I don't want to endorse this.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, things went really left.
I remember that, too, because I thought you had, like, an allergic reaction. I'm like, girl. Yeah. And I don't know if y'all remember that video with that young man who took the scalp treatment and his whole head blew up, like, real big because he had an allergic reaction to it. Yeah. That's what I thought of. I'm like, Lord in heaven, no. Did you ever go to the doctor for that, just to see?
No, it went down on its own. I was like, I obviously had an allergic reaction to something, but I don't know. He was almost borderline cult-like because the conversations we would have would be like third eye, and he would just say something like, he would just be talking all this like the sun gods, and it was just a lot. Like his philosophy was about aliens, and when you take the product, you're opening the sock. Like he was one of those your chakras and all whatever.
Yeah.
He was one of those kind of people. It was like, I don't know. So it was a lot, but I was like, no, sir, you know how to brainwash me into this. This is a cult. I'm good.
Right.
So when I realized what it really was, I was like, no, I'm good on this whole, he thinks he's like Dr. Sebi Part 2.
Right, like never again. I actually had something like that, similar. However, it was like in an indigenous ancient Navajo powder. And it's supposed to have all these healing properties and just calm any anxieties that you've had, any depression, all this other stuff. So basically they gave me like a list of things like to meditate, and you have to breathe in and breathe out on camera while you're promoting this product. It was like a whole entire show about what you had to do. And then you have this, I forget what it's called. I believe it was called a korupe. So it's something that looks like this. It's almost like a sideways A. And inside of it, it's binded here. And then it's like a little straw here and a little straw here. And then you're supposed to put this powder. It looks like gunpowder, girl. You put it inside the longer part of the A. And then you're supposed to put that part in your mouth, put this part in your nose, and blow. And that stuff's supposed to go into your nose. I'm like, what is this, Indian cocaine? Like, no.
Exactly. That's what I'm like. This is some...
No.
This is some, what's it called? Preserved cocaine. No, ma'am. I forgot. We're going to get back to Navajo dust, but the guy that I was working with the Mr. Dr. Sebi Part 2 guy, he also made me do weird breathing on live. He made me do weird breathing techniques on live and say weird stuff. I forgot. It was like, okay, now I feel like I'm doing voodoo. I feel like I'm in a cult.
Right.
He was making me say stuff. He was like, I don't know. He's like, now we're releasing the sacred chakra of the liver. I don't know. It was like, he's like, I need you. Like, it was crazy. I don't know if that stuff works though. I don't know about ancient healings.
Right.
It may have some validity to it, but
it's not you.
It's not that. That wasn't it. It was just like, it seems so exaggerated what he was doing.
I get that.
Okay. I saw this recently on Hulu. They got everything on Hulu. It's a show called something about, it's really something about like either famous people or celebrities or people in the media who went through like really huge court cases, maybe served time. Do you remember that white guy that was always on infomercials like in the mid 2000s?
Was it the guy that was like doing the magic? What was it?
So his thing, it wasn't the miracle water guy. Okay. That's another one. This one was the guy who was always promoting something. It was like when men went bald or weight loss, like you can lose weight, just eat whatever you want. He was always on like the late night infomercial, you know, and pretty much they were talking about his story. I remember seeing him all the time, but he was sued by the, was it the FCC or something for promoting false allegations, like advertising a product that's pretty much bogus. So they wanted him to pay like $27 million in fines. He never paid none of that. Long story short, now he's serving 10 years in prison because, and he was always, so at first they censored him and said, okay, you can't do any more infomercials where you're selling a product. So this man starts writing books talking about the remedies in his books, like how to solve stuff, health elements and stuff in the books. So he's like, well, they said I can't sell products. I'm just going to push my books. So he got in so much trouble. At this point, he owed like $87 million to people that are watching infomercials late at night and like, oh my God, this is going to work for me. When we always know, like, come on now. So I think that kind of has transitioned into what we have now with the online scammers trying to get the influencers. Back in the 90s and 2000s, we had the infomercials. Right. Oh. We had the infomercials, and a lot of that stuff was just BS. Except for like maybe the clap on and the chia, whatever. But everything else was.
But you know what kills me too about all the stuff that's on TV? There's actually as seen on TV stores in these malls, and it just blows me for a loop. I'm like, isn't that the stuff you pay $19.99? And everything was $19.99
for installments of $19.99. Do you remember those commercials back in the day? They would have like this is when I guess production would just sucked, I guess, back in the day. They would have like the blue screen and like the yellow letters that have the price. Just 4 installments of $19.99, and you'll have like the cheesy like footage and stuff, like the horrible acting.
Right? Like, oh no. We've come a long ways from that, but like after like Nia J had told me about the situation with the product and the reaction, I told myself, you know what? If I ever come across this, I don't know if I can do this. And I actually did. This was before the Navajo stuff. I had a lady out here in Vegas. She sold and made her own sea moss. And I took it for a while. I read up on sea moss and how good it is for your body and just helps cleanse you. I didn't feel anything different. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was just kind of like, this is like a jelly consistency. It tastes kind of good, but what am I supposed to be promoting? Like the taste, how it makes me feel? Because nothing happened. Like I took it for a month and nothing changed. I was just like, maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe someone else it'll work for, but just not.
Did she ever tell you like the benefits of? Because I've seen a lot of people promoting sea moss. Did she never went down to like the rundown of what the benefits would be?
So she sent a card with the package, and it had all the benefits. Like it helps with heart health. It helps with maintaining weight loss. It has like stuff with collagen in it to help with your skin and your nails and your hair. And I just really didn't see any difference in anything within a 4-week period. So I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable promoting something that I have not had any changes. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not comfortable. Now, beauty products, I'm actually currently doing ambassadorship with a few brands right now, and the products that literally just transformed me completely. I'm like, okay, this I can live by, So what they have me do, they sent the free product and everything. I've already gotten it. I'm pretty much ambassador for life. So every quarter they send me a new product, and I have 20, it's like 20 events is what they call it. 20 events to do within like a year. So I'll do the product for a year, which is actually working. And I'll do like my progress, like from month to month to month, and then do a full reel at the end of the year of how it's going. And then just other little things here and there that I get paid for. So it's really good. So that I can go by, but anything that's going inside,
yeah, that's the thing. It's like the internal, and I've promoted other stuff too from some of the big names that
Yeah.
I've tried because my page is catered to fitness and stuff. There's been a lot of fitness brands that I've done work with over the years, but that one in particular, I was just like, no, it's impacting me in a negative way. And his whole thing about, that's the toxins like trying to pop out under your skin, and I don't have time for all that. I don't want to see the toxins because I don't want to be up here looking like Beetlejuice because it's toxins come out of my skin. Like, no, come on.
And had you kept taking that, who knows what could have, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was just like, once that happened to you, you're like,
I had to show you. I was like, Pam, look at my face. I was like,
literally my face. Just,
yes. I was just like, oh my God. So that was something I just want people to just know, based on our experiences, of course, it's your life. And of course, you're going to decide what kind of brands you want to partner with and work with, once again, based on your image, your brand. But just be careful.
There.
Do your research ahead of time. We were green at some point. We got bamboozled by some brands. And then I've had really great experiences with other brands. So, and then also things are for a season. You may at one point in time decide, hey, I need to move on. This brand does not fit my brand anymore. I've outgrown, and that's fair too. I think that's totally fair when you've outgrown a gig, pretty much.
Yeah.
That can happen too.
Agreed. What do you think, as far as because I know, our viewers know you model and you're part of a casting company as well. For people that want to get out there, what would you suggest they start? Like, where would you have them start, Nia?
As far as branding themselves on social media, you definitely need to make sure that you have the right type of content. I know right now, reels are everything. You can monetize off of reels. I know last year I made good money off of reels. Back when I started, it was all about pictures, and they had IG live and stuff. Like, we even did our thing, we were doing our thing. Our IG live was popping, So, it's really about staying current with the trends in the time. I know now TikTok is a really big thing. So go with the avenue that works best. Make sure you learn how to monetize your brand, and you really have to know who you are. You have to know what kind of content to post and be consistent with that content. You can't if you're really trying to do this and get compensated and have people know who you are so you can make more money, you have to keep posting. You can't take a 3-month break and be like, here I am. Because then you kind of lose the what's it called? The
algorithm.
That is a great literal term, but I was trying to say you lose the momentum. But you definitely lose the algorithm. Hello, that's what it is. If you're not making the explore page, then people are not going to be able to see your content on Instagram, TikTok, all of those type of platforms.
Very true.
You have to be able to be trending, and when people hashtag you, you have to be able to pop up. So make sure that you're censoring what you say. Unfortunately, we do have freedom of speech, but you got to be careful what you say on these platforms because they're owned by human beings that, want, their image to be displayed a certain way. So just be mindful of that so you don't get shadow banned, because that's happened to all of us before, unfortunately.
Yes. Another thing to add on with the shadow banning. Sometimes I know that Instagram doesn't have all the songs in the catalog. I know for me, I'm huge on EDM. There's a lot of stuff that they don't have. And I have to search and search and search. And I'll actually have it, but it's not copyrighted because obviously they don't have it. So you always have to put somewhere on the page. It doesn't matter where. I do not own the rights to this song. If you are feeling this video that you want to post on your stories, or you're feeling whatever you got and the song just is not there, please just say you don't own the rights to it. That way that you don't get shadow banned, you don't get any kind of things going that Instagram can like attack you for and then get your account closed or whatever the case may be. You just want to just dot your I's, cross your T's at every possible moment.
Definitely. That's a really good one too. And even at that, sometimes they can still take it down if they want to. Yeah, that happens a lot. I know before Reels had the music, that used to happen to me a lot.
Yes.
Even when I would say, hey, I do not own the rights. I don't know. I think like probably before 2020, they didn't have it as fine-tuned as they do now. Because literally, I remember one time I got flagged and I wasn't saying anything wrong. I guess it was the way I phrased it. They thought it was offensive. But I didn't say anything wrong. I may have been like, "Ooh, oh yeah, I killed that." Like it may have been a walk,
right?
And they were like, "Oh, you're, talking about." Like, no. It was just a phrase,
right.
So I think before they fine-tune the algorithm, it was just like the little Instagram robot just looking at words and not the context the words are put in, which is shadow banning.
Exactly.
Because girl, during the pandemic, I was shadow banned for like 8 months. Off of some bull. Literally, I for the longest time, I thought it was something else. I thought it was a post that I put of Snoop Dogg saying something, but it wasn't even that. Do you know what I was flagged for 8 months for? It was the, this is when she was still alive, Betty White. It was a picture of her. It was a meme, and she's like, and it says, Betty White dies. Her hair green in her bathroom. And I think I got flagged for like false. Oh my God. It was a joke. I was like, they cannot be serious.
That's awful. I've actually had like something really bad. I've never heard this happen before, but a good friend of mine, her page, like she had blown up literally overnight. Snoop Dogg was like reposting her. Nelly, like everybody was reposting her. And she was blowing up. And then not even a month into everything, they just deleted her. They took her page. Instagram took her page. And she had no access to it. So she had to fight that. She fought and fought and fought. And she was like, y'all got to like help me. And like all the fans are out there trying to help her get. And she finally got it back. Just say the least. So it took like 4 months, I think. But I'm just like, dang, they're just out here taking people's pages too.
And they always think it's a reason, and sometimes you don't know. You have to do your research on what happened. But whenever stuff like that happened, I usually would fight it. Like one of those instances where I said something and they took it out of context, they put my post back up, and I was like, thank God I had like 17,000 likes and all these comments. So people act like it doesn't, like some people say, oh, viewership and followers don't matter, but it does, because you can monetize. It always matters. It's not a stunt fame game for me. It's not like, oh, I have so many followers. It's more so how much money can I make off of what I got.
It's your livelihood.
Off of my motion. Yeah. So, I mean, girl, we could just go on and on, because I feel like we're going to have to eventually revisit this topic just to catch up, because I feel it's so much. And we're still learning too as we continue on this journey as influencers with our YouTube experience and everything. Right. I'm sure we'll have more information for our lovely, lovely viewers. But for now, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you once again for watching another episode of Dynasty Queens. Make sure you guys subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the channel, leave a comment. If you have any additional questions for us about being an influencer, please don't be shy. Ask us, okay? We love y'all. So in closing, I'm your girl, Nia J.
And I'm Pamela Nicole.
And until next time, Dynasty Queen.
See ya.
you.